The view of my bookshelf is different, and that's because I'm sitting. I don't know how long it'll be like this, but I certainly like sitting, so we'll see. Hi friends, welcome back, or just welcome if you're new. My name is Emily, and today we're going to chat about the Athena Protocol by Shamim Sarif. This book was blurbed as the female version of James Bond, so obviously it was on my list. I'm a huge fan of spy movies. I went through like a Mission Impossible phase in middle school. I don't know. Anyway, but I've never read a spy novel per se, and since the Athena Protocol is just that, and it has a female protagonist, obviously super excited to read it, and I was pleasantly surprised. But let's get into a summary first. The Athena Protocol follows Jessie, who is an agent for a covert organization called Athena, which is like an all-female, under-the-radar operations group that helps women and children in need around the world. When one of their missions goes awry and Jessie shoots somebody, which is completely against Athena's no-kill order, she is kicked out of the organization. However, there is a mission coming up that Jessie really believes in and feels that she can help with, so she decides to go by herself. While she is there, she uncovers deep secrets and a web of lies that cause her to question both her own morals and Athena's morals. Okay, so this doesn't really pertain to the Athena Protocol necessarily, but while I was reading it, I recognized that it was basically exactly what I wanted one of my works in progress to be from a long, long time ago. It was called Saving Davis, and it was about this kid named Cole who is recruited to save his town from some like evil dude in like 2 weeks when he's gonna like blow it up or something. I don't know. It was never really a super solidified concept. I really was in love with it. I worked really hard on it while it had momentum, and while I was reading the Athena Protocol, I was like, this was the end goal for Saving Davis. This is what I wanted it to be. Right off the bat, I was not the biggest fan of Jessie. She kind of gave off the whole like I'm not like other girls vibe, which is really gross in my opinion, and she just seemed kind of surface level and not super complicated. Also, her narration is in first person present tense, so that is another thing that threw me off because I usually don't like that kind of narration. But as I went on throughout the book, I really came to like Jessie. I mean, she's super smart, she thinks on her feet, she's really compassionate, she's just an all-around really great character. And her character development, stellar. One of the places that I can really see that development is with her relationship with Hala, who is another of the Athena agents. At the beginning of the book, when they're in their like situation room where they get briefed on their missions and stuff, she and Hala get into this like fist fight, which is obviously a no-no, you know, like you're not supposed to fight with your team. And then more towards the end, I promise this is not spoilers, she and Hala start to get into another fist fight, but then Jessie steps back and she's like, you're not somebody I should ever fight with. You're on my team, you're on my side. We shouldn't be fighting like this. And I think that was really cool to see. I mean, the book is relatively short, so having proper character development in that short amount of time was really cool. And I just really enjoyed watching Jessie develop as a character. Unfortunately, I felt like there was a lot of info dumping. I feel like Sarif spent a lot of time on stuff that I didn't really need to know about. There were like excessive descriptions of character appearance, or there's this one part where there was like a half a page on the Athena agents' diets. Like, I really don't need to know that. Sure, it adds something to the story, but it's not super important, so why take up half a page talking about it? Most of this info dumping happened near the beginning, and it was kind of off-putting because obviously I picked up this book expecting it to be like a spy thriller, and then it just wasn't. Again, given the short length of the book, it would make sense that there would be some info dumping, but it just felt a little bit excessive. It did ease up a little bit towards like the middle and the end of the book, so I did appreciate that. Jessie's relationship with Kit, her mom, felt very well written and very well developed. I also felt that both sides of the relationship were explained well, even though I was definitely on Jessie's side. I mean, it totally makes sense for Jessie to be kind of bitter towards Kit for leaving her alone for most of her childhood. And it also makes sense that Jessie would not want to forgive Kit right away. I mean, when they were in Belgrade at Gregory's concert and Kit was singing Baby Mine for Jessie, but she didn't even know that Jessie was going to be there, I think Jessie was kind of in the right to call Kit out for that, honestly. Obviously, Kit feels bad that she wasn't able to be there as much for Jessie, but that's not something that a kid can just push aside, you know? So it definitely makes sense that Jessie would still be kind of upset with Kit. And I did appreciate how at the end, when their relationship is sort of on the mend, it wasn't just this like magical fix. You can't fix years of feeling like you were abandoned. You can't fix years of not having interaction with your child. It's gonna take time, and I appreciate that the ending set it up like that. Paulina and Jessie. I loved them. It was so tender and so sweet, and I was really looking forward to Paulina being like not evil and maybe genuine. Unfortunately, I did not get my wish. Maybe I'm just unobservant, but I did not see that coming, so that was a pretty good twist. On that note, all the twists in this book were good. I feel like the story flowed really well and the pacing was pretty good. I did feel like I was getting whiplash at some points because Sarif would transition between scenes like so fast. I do like that she didn't spend a lot of time on mundane scene transitions, so I guess I would rather have the speed, and definitely speed picked up in the last 50-ish pages. I ate them up so fast, felt like I was watching a movie. I was like on the edge of my seat. It was so good. Rating wise, I think I'm going to give the Athena Protocol 4 stars. Other than a few not so great things that I mentioned at the beginning, I really did enjoy it. I thought Jessie was a great character, I thought the plot was super cool, and I'm excited to read the sequel. As far as a favorite quote goes, I think I'm gonna have to go with something that Jessie says at the end of the book. Even though it's sort of cheesy, I still think it's really nice. Maybe we need thousands of smaller heroes every day instead of just the occasional big one. And I think that, especially now, that resonates. I feel like I say that all the time. We're like, especially now, this quote is important. But honestly, we're living through some weird times, and that quote really just kind of rings true. Everyone has their own little part to play in order to make the world a better place, and you'd be surprised at how much change we can really affect when we do that. It is pretty reassuring to know that even the smallest little things can make a really big difference. And that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you so choose, and I will see you next time. Happy reading!